Hi there, this is Talia the dietitian, and today I'm answering a question that I've had quite frequently recently, and that is what to do about a child who shoves food into their mouth. I understand how that's really frustrating and sometimes scary, especially if it's a baby who's just learning to eat. So in this video, I'm going to give you 5 tips to help you with this. All right, so the first thing is know that it's okay that they're doing it. They probably won't choke, and especially when they're a baby. They are still learning how the food feels in their mouth and what it feels like. They're learning to move the food around. They have a higher gag reflex in the back of their throat to protect them from choking. And that's why a baby who shoves things into their mouth like that is likely to gag and spit them out. And if they don't, it means that they're able to handle the food in there and they are able to mash it and swallow it. But that doesn't stop making you want them to eat less quickly. So here are some tips, the 5 tips. First one is, why are they doing it? So think about the last meal you had with your child, and it can be of various ages, not just a baby, because there are plenty of older children who eat really quickly too. What reasons can you think of that they might have been eating really fast? Is there a scarcity aspect to it? Like, do you sometimes run out of a certain food, and then if they don't eat quickly, they don't get more of that food if they want it? Or do they have a sibling who's eating really quickly? Do you or your spouse eat really quickly? These are all reasons that they may be eating quickly as well. So that brings me to tip number 2, which is modeling. And you and your spouse are really the best models when it comes to eating. So that's why eating together is so important. So if you do know that you eat quickly, make a conscious effort to slow down and really chew your food. Obviously, you don't want to be like exaggerating it to the point where you're eating like a snail, and so not like that, but making an effort to slow down yourself and really taste the food. And you can even model changes in the way you are at mealtimes by chewing it and saying, this tastes like whatever, or this has a texture of this. So modeling can really, really help you with this one. Tip number 3 is things to say, because parents often just want to know, what can I say to my child? And usually I tell you that saying less is more. In this situation, I have 2 kids and they sit right there, which is why I look over there. If they eat really quickly, I would say something like, hey, Timmy, my child's name is not Timmy, but I might say something like, hey, Timmy, in a joking way, the food is not going to run away. Those raspberries aren't going to run away, I promise. You can eat them one at a time. And then just kind of leave it. You don't want to be, talking down to them. You don't want to be constantly grinding at them that they need to slow down. So maybe just say something like that if your child is receptive to it in a joking way, which mine are. If yours aren't, you could just say something like, "Hey, the food isn't going to. No one's going to take your food away. I promise you, those raspberries will still be waiting there, even if you eat them slow." Or don't worry, no one's going to take them away. Or you could even say something the opposite. Don't worry, there are more if you want more. All right? And if they are, I'll tell you an example actually. My older daughter, who is almost 4, recently was going to town on some raspberries. And she was like my husband gave her 5 and she shoved them into her mouth all at once and asked for more, like literally 15 seconds later. And we had warned her. We had told her, like, wow, that was really, really fast. You need to slow down and really enjoy them. And there are some foods like raspberries that are expensive and, they don't last that long. So it's not like you can buy like tons of them. And so when they are gone, they are gone. So there is a bit of scarcity with them. So we told my daughter, that was really fast. We'll give you a couple more. Please eat them one at a time and really enjoy them. If you shove them all in like that, I can't give you any more because we need to make sure we have some for everybody else in the family. And that's not unreasonable. And my daughter did shove them into her mouth and she didn't get more. And that was really upsetting to her. But that's a natural consequence. You've given the warning and you've got to enforce that. You've given them the heads up and they made the choice to shove more in. So unfortunately for my daughter, she didn't get more at that meal. And then the next time, there wasn't even a discussion of, I'm going to eat them slowly this time. She just ate them slowly on her own. If your child isn't like that, I understand. So you could say something like, they're not running away, there are more. You can talk about, remember to chew your food, or you could make it, my baby really likes when you sit and eat and you make a noise like this, because it shows that you're chewing as well, and she makes the noise, and it's something that you've engaged and connected with, and you haven't even had to say eat slowly or chew your food. You're just kind of showing her that you're chewing as well. Look, and it's kind of a fun little connection thing, and it's less of a stop doing that type thing. So that's tip number 3 of what to say. Tip number 4, so we have 2 more tips left. Tip number 4 is what happens next time. And I kind of told you what happened next time if they eat really quickly. My daughter shoving those raspberries in, she got a warning and then she did it again, and so she didn't get more raspberries. She could eat everything else that she had, but the raspberries were off the table because she didn't listen, she didn't follow the instruction. So what you can do next time, let's say she did shove them all in and it was something that you would be willing to give more of. You could say something instead of stop or slow down or whatever. You could say something like, what do those taste like? Are they really soft raspberries? Are they crunchy if it's a food that's crunchy? What does it taste like? You can take a bite of yours and say, oh, the one that I just had was actually really sour. And by having a discussion over it, you're not telling them, stop doing that, you're eating too quickly. You're not criticizing them. You're not actually telling them anything. You're having a discussion and connecting with them over what it tastes like. And you're bringing them back to this mindfulness of connecting what's happening in their brain when they're eating this raspberry. It's sweet, it's soft, it's tart, it's sour, it's whatever it tastes like, but you're actually having a connection, and that can slow them down because they realize, oh, what does that taste like? Is it soft? Is it chewy? Is it crunchy? Is it whatever it is? And that's another way of connecting with them and having a discussion about it without criticizing them to eat slowly or giving them a direction. So that's tip number 4. And tip number 5 is to remember that you can't actually make them eat slowly. That's one of the things that we can't control as parents, is how quickly or slowly they eat. So know that the best thing that you can do, follow those tips. Of modeling is a really big one. Identifying what may be causing them to eat quickly. Is there a scarcity? Are you eating really quickly? Is there a sibling eating really quickly? Try and identify what could be causing it and making adjustments to that. And then in what you say and how you respond to it. You can give them one critical, like, don't forget to chew, or, hey, that was kind of really, you've got like 6 raspberries in there, like try to, eat them one at a time. They're not going to run away. Then you've got that you can talk about, what does it taste like? What does it feel like in the mouth? Try to bring them back to the mindfulness, which will help them slow down naturally, and know that you can't make them do it slow. So you have all these other tools at your disposal to put into practice, rather than being worried about you having to slow it down. You have all these other things that you can do to help you. So I really hope that those 5 tips have given you some ideas that you can implement at your next meal with your child, that will help you stress less and help them slow down over time. And if you found that video helpful, I would love if you would subscribe to my channel, and don't forget to turn your notifications on so you don't miss a future video. And thanks so much for watching. This is Talia the Dietitian. I sure hope you enjoyed that video. Here are a couple more to help you out.